Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Alex's English Podcast. I'm Alex, and I'm so happy you're here.
And I'm Sophia. Thank you for listening today. We have a very special topic for you.
Yes, today we're talking about something very important, and also very real in life. Failure.
That's right. Failure is something that happens to everyone. But it can feel very hard, right?
Yes. When we fail, we often feel sad, embarrassed, or even hopeless. We think, maybe I'm not good enough.
But today, we want to change that thinking. Because failure is not always bad. In fact, many successful people needed failure to grow.
That's our topic. What successful people learn from failure. You'll hear real stories, simple English, and useful lessons.
We will show you that people like Steve Jobs, J.K. Rowling, and Michael Jordan all failed many times, but they didn't give up.
They used failure to learn, to grow, to get stronger, and you can do the same.
Also, if you're learning English, this episode will help you practice listening and learn new vocabulary too.
So if you failed before, in school, in work, or in life, this episode is for you.
Get ready to feel stronger and more confident.
Grab a notebook if you want, and let's begin. So, Sophia, let's start with something simple but important. Failure is a normal part of life, right?
Yes, Alex. It happens to all of us. No one likes to fail. But the truth is, everyone fails sometimes. Even people who are very successful today.
That's true. I think many people believe that successful people never make mistakes. But that's not the case.
Not at all. In fact, many successful people failed many times before they found success.
Let's talk about one example. Do you know Steve Jobs?
Of course. He's the man behind Apple. The iPhone, iPad, MacBook. Very smart and creative.
Yes, but do you know that he was once fired from his own company?
What? Really?
Yes. Steve Jobs started Apple, but later the company removed him. Imagine how painful that must have been.
That's a big failure. What did he do after that?
He didn't give up. He took time to learn, to grow. Then he came back to Apple and helped build it into one of the most successful companies in the world.
Wow, so that failure helped him become better?
Yes. He said it was one of the best things that ever happened to him.
That's amazing. Failure can be a new beginning.
Let's look at another example. J.K. Rowling, the author of Harry Potter.
Oh, I love that story. Did she fail too?
Yes, she did. Before her books became famous, she was very poor. She had no job, and she was a single mother. She sent her book to 12 publishers, and they all said no.
That must have been hard. So much rejection.
Yes, but she believed in her story. She kept trying. And finally, one publisher said yes.
And now her books are read all over the world.
That's right. Her failure didn't stop her. It made her stronger.
I think a lot of people give up after just one no. But she didn't.
Exactly. Failure is only the end if you stop trying. But if you keep going, it becomes a lesson.
That's a good way to think about it.
One more example. Michael Jordan. He's one of the best basketball players in history.
Everyone knows him.
Yes, but when he was a teenager, he was cut from his high school basketball team.
What? That's hard to believe.
It's true. He said he went home and cried, but then he decided to train harder. And now, he's a legend.
So even champions fail.
Yes, and that's the point. Failing is not the opposite of success. It's part of success.
That's really powerful. Sometimes we only see the final result. We see the success, not the struggle before it.
Exactly. We see people winning, but we don't see their rejections, their mistakes, their long nights.
So we think we're the only ones who fail. But it's not true.
Not true at all. Everyone who tries something new will fail at some point.
So if I try to start a business or learn English and I fail sometimes, it's okay?
Not just okay, it's expected. It means you are learning and growing.
That feels better. Less pressure.
Yes, failure is not something to be afraid of. It's something to learn from.
So the lesson from this part is, failure is normal. It happens to all of us, even the best.
And the most successful people are not the ones who never fail. They're the ones who keep going after failure.
They learn, they improve, and they try again.
So next time you fail at something, don't feel ashamed.
Feel proud that you're trying. And ask yourself, what can I learn from this?
In the next part, we'll explore exactly that. What successful people learn from failure, and how we can apply those lessons to our own lives.
It's going to be helpful and very encouraging. So stay with us.
Welcome back. In the last part, we talked about how failure is a normal part of life, even for successful people.
Yes. We learned that people like Steve Jobs, J.K. Rowling, and Michael Jordan all failed before they became great.
So now let's look at something deeper. What do successful people actually learn from failure?
Great idea. Because failure is not just something we survive. It's something we can learn from.
Let's begin with the first big lesson. Failure teaches us humility and patience.
Humility means being honest about our mistakes, right?
Yes. When you fail, your ego, your pride, gets smaller. You realize, I don't know everything. I need to improve.
That's powerful. And it also makes us more open to learning.
Exactly. Failure helps us listen more, ask for help, and accept feedback.
And patience. That's another big lesson.
Yes. When you fail, you understand that success doesn't happen fast. You learn to take your time and work step by step.
You stop looking for quick results, and you focus on the long journey.
That's what most successful people do. They play the long game.
I like that. So failure helps us become more humble and more patient.
Now let's move to the second lesson. Failure helps us think better and solve problems.
Oh, you mean critical thinking?
Yes. When something goes wrong, successful people don't just feel sad. They ask, why did this happen?
They look for the real reason behind the failure.
Exactly. Maybe the plan was weak. Maybe the timing was wrong. Maybe they didn't practice enough.
And when they understand the reason, they can change their strategy.
That's right. Failure is like feedback. It shows what needs to improve.
So the smart people don't cry over failure. They study it.
Yes, that's how they grow.
And I guess that also builds confidence. Because when you solve a problem, you feel stronger.
Totally. Let's go to the next lesson. Failure is a test of passion and commitment.
I love this one. Because many people quit after one or two failures.
Yes. But people who are truly passionate, who care deeply, they keep going.
That reminds me of Thomas Edison. He tried 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb.
Yes. When people asked, did you fail 1,000 times? He said, no, I found 1,000 ways that didn't work.
That's amazing. So passion means you don't stop, even when it's hard.
Exactly. Failure asks the question, how much do you really want this?
And people who really want it, they don't quit.
That's what makes them different. Not talent, but commitment.
And now, the last lesson. Failure builds mental strength.
This is called resilience. The power to keep going, even after something bad happens.
Yes, like falling down and standing up again.
Every time you face failure and come back stronger, your mind becomes tougher.
You feel like, I've been through worse. I can handle this.
That's what life needs. Not just skills, but strength from the inside.
And failure is the gym for that inner strength.
I love that metaphor. Failure is the gym, and resilience is the muscle.
So to review, here are 4 lessons successful people learn from failure. 1. It teaches humility and patience. 2. It helps build critical thinking and problem solving. 3. It tests passion and long-term commitment. 4. IT builds mental strength, resilience.
These are not small things. These are life skills.
Yes, and you can't learn them from books alone. You learn them through experience.
So, if you failed at something recently, don't feel bad.
Feel proud, because you are now learning the lessons that build greatness.
In the next part, we'll talk about how you can turn failure into growth with simple steps.
Don't miss it. The journey continues, and you're doing great already.
Welcome back, everyone. In the last part, we learned about the important lessons that successful people learn from failure.
Yes. Like patience, problem solving, passion, and resilience. Failure really helps us grow.
Now, in this final part, we want to give you something very practical. How to turn failure into growth. What can you actually do when you fail?
That's right. It's not just about feeling better. It's about using failure as a step forward, not a step back.
Let's start with the first tip. Change how you see failure.
Many people think failure means the end, but really, failure is feedback.
Exactly. It's not saying, you're not good enough. It's saying, this didn't work. Let's try something different.
That's called a growth mindset. The belief that we can improve through effort and learning.
People with a growth mindset don't ask, why am I so bad at this? They ask, what can I learn from this?
That one question changes everything.
Yes. After a failure, try asking yourself, what did I try? What went wrong? What would I do differently next time?
These are smart, helpful questions. They move you forward.
Let's go to tip number 2. Write about your failure.
Yes. Take out a notebook or open a notes app. After something goes wrong, take 5 or 10 minutes to write.
What should you write?
Start with how you feel. Angry, sad, confused? Let it out. Then write what happened and what you learned.
For example, I failed my English test. I feel disappointed. I didn't study enough vocabulary. Next time, I will review every day for 1 week before the test.
That's a perfect example. When you write it down, your brain understands it better, and your emotions become calmer.
You can even write one sentence. This hurts, but I'm learning. That alone is powerful.
And over time, you can look back and see how far you've come.
Journaling makes failure feel like part of a journey, not a dead end.
Tip number 3. Talk to someone who's been there.
Yes, find a mentor or someone with more experience. Ask them about their failures.
You might be surprised. Many successful people are happy to share their struggles.
And when you hear their stories, you feel less alone.
It's also easier to believe in yourself when you know others have fallen and stood back up.
You don't need a famous mentor. A teacher, an older friend, or someone at work can help.
You can even watch interviews or read books about people who failed and succeeded later.
Learn from real stories, not just theory.
And now, tip number 4. Take action again, even a small step.
This one is so important. After failing, many people stop for a long time. They wait until they feel ready.
But the best thing you can do is move. Even a small step is powerful.
Let's say you failed at a presentation. Instead of avoiding all future speaking, you could practice for 5 minutes tomorrow, or join a small class.
Or if your business idea didn't work, try testing a smaller version. Or ask one person for feedback.
These small steps help you rebuild your confidence.
And they keep you moving forward, not stuck in the past.
So let's review. Here are 4 ways to turn failure into growth. 1. Change your mindset. Failure is feedback, not the end. 2. Write it down. Journaling helps you understand and learn. 3. Talk to someone with experience. Learn from others who failed and grew. 4. Take action again. Even small steps keep your momentum going.
These steps are simple, but powerful. These steps are simple, but powerful.
You don't need to do them all at once. Just pick one and begin.
Maybe tonight, write one sentence in your journal about a mistake. Or message a friend who can share their story.
Remember, failure is not who you are. It's just something that happened.
And what you do next, that's what really matters.
In the final part of this episode, we'll give a short summary and a little challenge to help you grow from your own failures.
Stay with us. You're doing great already.
And here we are at the end of today's episode. Let's take a moment to remember everything we've learned.
Yes, we started by saying something simple but important. Failure is normal. Everyone experiences it. Even the most successful people in the world.
We talked about how people like Steve Jobs, J.K. Rowling, and Michael Jordan used failure to grow stronger, not weaker.
Then we explore the lessons we can learn from failure. It teaches us patience, critical thinking, passion, and resilience.
And we didn't stop there. We also shared 4 practical ways to turn failure into growth. 1. Change how you see failure. 2. Write about your experience. 3. Talk to someone who's been there. 4. Take action again, even small steps.
So the big message is this. Failure is not the end. It's a beginning. It's not a stop sign. It's a sign that says, learn and keep going.
And now, we want to ask you something.
Think about a time you failed. Maybe it was big. Maybe it was small, but ask yourself, what did I learn from that experience? What would I do differently next time?
If you want to take one step today, write it down. Just one paragraph in your notebook or your phone.
Or send us a message. We'd love to hear your story and how you are growing from it.
And if this episode helped you, please share it with a friend. Someone who might be feeling down or stuck after a failure.
You never know. Your small act of sharing could help someone take their next big step.
Thank you so much for joining us on Alex's English Podcast.
Remember, you are not your failure. You are your courage, your learning, and your next action.
Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and don't be afraid to try again.